A car owner had received a gift fire extinguisher from a 4S store while purchasing his vehicle, only to discover that it was fake.
这是我买车的时候 4S 店送的灭火器，然后呢，表面上看是一个完整的好的灭火器，然后重点来了，这个地方它是可以扭下来的，居然是可以扭下来的，那这有什么用？在抖音上看到的段子成真了，哇，我去了，真的是，这个东西是实心的，这个压力检测的东西根本就是没用的，我估计这个粉也是喷不出来的吧。
Recently, a video from a fire drill conducted by a certain organization in China has gone viral. In the video, a woman can be seen trying to extinguish a fire pile with the extinguisher, but to no avail. Netizens commented that this was a typical example of a counterfeit product made in China. Some even remarked that it was a good thing that this was just a drill. Had it been a real fire, the consequences would have been disastrous. We all know that counterfeit goods are ubiquitous in the Chinese market, ranging from big brand cigarettes and liquor, foods, drugs, designer clothes, household supplies, appliances, to automobiles. These counterfeit goods could negatively impact consumers' health or cause financial losses. However, what's infuriating is that even life-saving tools like firefighting equipment are also subject to counterfeiting. A man's car suddenly caught fire, and he found his fire extinguisher to be fake as it couldn't spray anything to put out the flames. Fortunately, the fire was not too severe, and he managed to extinguish it with a bottle of mineral water. At a construction site, workers were testing a fire extinguisher and discovered it could not put out a fire, then switched to another one and still the same. Numerous fake fire extinguishers are available for purchase online, and many people are duped into buying these counterfeits due to their lower prices. A woman who had purchased one such fake extinguisher online demonstrated its structure.
是指在绿色是吧？给它把压力表拧下来，这是一个假的压力表。这里边看一下，这里边是封着口的。妈呀，这是什么呀？土吗？
Not only are some firefighting equipment counterfeited, but there are also imposters posing as firefighters. Many swindlers impersonate firefighters to perform fake fire prevention inspections on businesses, only to peddle overpriced firefighting equipment. On September 21st last year, two individuals in firefighter uniforms visited Ms. Guo's shop in Zhongshan, Guangdong Province. They claimed to be there to inspect the fire extinguishers and other fire equipment. Following the inspection, they suggested that Ms. Guo needed to replace her fire extinguishers. Without suspecting anything, she spent 800 yuan on 4 extinguishers. Later, sensing something amiss, she contacted the local fire department, only to find that the two firefighters were fraudsters selling high-priced fire extinguishers. While it's not confirmed whether the expensive extinguishers were counterfeit, the likelihood is high. Additionally, some fraudsters pose as firefighters, offering mandatory fire safety training for businesses and then selling overpriced fire equipment. Not only are fire extinguishers faked, but in some public places, the firefighting facilities are merely for show and are utterly useless in an emergency. On November 3, 2022, at 11 a.m., a fire broke out on the 18th floor of a residential building in Buji Street, Longgang District, Shenzhen. Firefighters responding to the incident found that fire hydrants in the building's corridor were dry. They had to rely on the water from the fire truck and handheld extinguishers, extinguishing the fire floor by floor. The fire raged for 40 to 50 minutes before it was put out due to lack of water, despite the fire truck arriving within minutes of the incident. Thankfully, there were no casualties. Residents revealed that in this large residential area of 30,000 people, the fire hydrants had been dry for many years. Last year in Guangdong, a woman accidentally damaged a fire hydrant with her car. Although it was a minor accident, it led to the revelation that the fire hydrant was a mere facade, with no connecting water supply. This situation is common in residential communities in China. In a residential community in Bozhou, Anhui, a person filming a video demonstrated that the fire hydrant was simply buried in the ground, with nothing connected below. A similar situation was discovered in a neighborhood in Qiannan Autonomous Prefecture, Guizhou Province. The act of faking fire extinguishers can be considered individual behavior, but when fire hydrants in residential buildings are merely for show, this is an act of public deceit. It's not just the property developers and management companies who are responsible. The local fire department is also implicated. According to the Fire Protection Law of the People's Republic of China, residential buildings must be inspected for safety by the fire department before being handed over for use. Only after passing the inspection can they be occupied. Once the handover between the developer and the property management company is completed, the management and maintenance of the fire facilities in the residential buildings fall to the property management company. So, according to this law, fire facilities should be up to standard before a residential building is handed over. So why are some residential communities occupied for years, yet no one manages their fire facilities, which are merely for display? In reality, anyone who has lived or worked in China knows that such inspections are often a mere formality. As long as a developer gives a gift and treats the inspectors to a feast, seeing a fire hydrant on the ground or fire facilities in the building corridor usually guarantees approval. Whether or not there is water in the system or whether it is functional seems to concern no one. It is always the consumer, in this case the residents, who suffer. They can do nothing but fret in case of a fire. The situation of fire safety in China is indeed severe, especially in older neighborhoods where the fire safety risks are even greater. Some older neighborhoods were not equipped with fire hydrants or emergency lighting, fundamental fire safety facilities, during construction. Even if such facilities are present, they often end up being merely for show due to a lack of regular maintenance, becoming non-functional or damaged in the event of an actual fire, thus severely affecting emergency rescue operations. Additionally, many older neighborhoods have wiring that is externally installed, and with the addition of new wiring by residents over time, a mess of various cables arises. Exposed to wind and sun, and suffering from long-term disrepair, these setups can easily cause fires. Furthermore, the management of older neighborhoods tends to be chaotic, with a shortage of parking spaces. As demand exceeds supply, many vehicles are parked on both sides of the neighborhood roads, making the already narrow roads even more congested. In the event of an emergency, this traffic congestion can seriously affect the speed of rescue operations. A resident in Fuzhou City reported to the media that the temperature alarms and smoke detectors installed in the corridors of their condos are not working properly. Additionally, the fire hydrants in the buildings either lack fire hoses or are completely non-functional. After contacting the person in charge of the property management company, he stated that they are unable to afford replacements due to financial constraints. Not only are fire safety measures in residential communities inadequate, but public places such as hospitals, restaurants, and markets also have significant fire safety issues.
Check out this smoke detector. Look how much smoke I'm blowing into it. It still won't trigger the fire alarm. What's the use of having this smoke detector installed in the first place?
Not only are the fire alarms fake, but the perpetrators are even using smoke detectors as a disguise, secretly installing cameras inside them to conduct illegal filming of hotel guests and other people in public places. This influencer found a fake smoke detector installed in a hotel room. They couldn't understand why the hotel would install such a fake alarm. Fortunately, the influencer had a camera detector with him and discovered that there was a camera hidden inside. They took apart the smoke detector and found the camera installed within it. It left them feeling extremely scared and shaken.
This thing is actually a fake, completely useless. It's installed here to confuse people. Let me show you. As you can see from the machine detector, there's a very obvious red dot. Now, let's take it apart and have a look. It seems to be a real camera indeed. It's incredibly scary.
On the afternoon of April 18th, a major fire occurred at Changfeng Hospital in Beijing, resulting in 29 fatalities as reported by authorities. This tragic accident was only communicated to the families of the victims 8 hours later, adding to the gravity of the situation. What infuriated the public was the realization that the Fengtai Fire Brigade in Beijing was just a stone's throw away from Changfeng Hospital, where the fire occurred. So why wasn't there a timely rescue? As it turns out, the primary reason was the low clearance of the hospital's overpass, which prevented fire trucks from entering. Firefighters had to use a regular ladder for the rescue. More frustratingly, this hospital, repurposed from a hotel, lacked fire facilities that could provide water. Upon investigation, it was found that the fire was caused by sparks from welding, igniting the volatile substances in flammable paints during the hospital's internal renovation process. It's common knowledge that construction tasks involving sparks, like welding, carry a high risk of fire. Before such tasks are carried out, the site should be cleared and people evacuated. However, Changfeng Hospital took no precautionary measures and continued to operate normally while carrying out renovation works. In addition, the local safety supervision department was negligent in its oversight and should bear the corresponding supervisory responsibilities. Counterfeit safety equipment is not limited to fire equipment. Even the crucial safety helmets, which can be life-saving in critical moments, are being counterfeited. In this video recorded at a construction site in Anhui Province, a safety inspector is seen examining the workers' helmets. Shockingly, some of the helmets display extremely poor quality, easily shattering with a gentle strike from a hammer. What's the use of wearing such safety helmets? Can they truly ensure the wearer's safety in case of an accident? In this video, a worker conducts a test on his own yellow safety helmet and the red one worn by the leader. The outcome is striking. The yellow safety helmet is effortlessly crushed upon collision, while the red safety helmet remains completely intact.
Today, we're going to do an experiment. Here we have the safety helmet of our frontline workers and the helmet of our supervisor. Let's see which one is stronger. This is the safety helmet used by our frontline workers, and this one belongs to our supervisor. However, the helmet worn by the inspector is even sturdier. The inspector's helmet is the most sturdy, lightweight, and durable.
Safety helmets are indispensable personal protective equipment in construction sites, serving the critical function of protecting the head. Hence, the quality of safety helmets is of utmost importance. However, it is disconcerting that even such vital labor protection products are subject to counterfeiting. What's even more alarming is that the responsible individuals from the construction companies knowingly purchase and distribute these counterfeit helmets to the construction workers. On the other hand, the construction supervising engineers whom they dare not offend can comfortably wear authentic and high-quality safety helmets. Such things are perhaps more prevalent in China under the leadership of the Communist Party.